Hey, I'm RT and welcome back to RTsWorld. So today I present you the successor of the very popular video series Casino Basics, and this time it is number 3, so the third part of this series. And if you missed out on the first 2 parts, make sure to watch them first. I will link them in the info card section, the video description and the comment section down below to really ensure that you have the knowledge basically for the new upcoming third video which I present you today. But for all of those who saw the videos and were like, hey, I don't remember everything, I will cover them like in the first 1 or 2 minutes, just very shortly give an overview or sum up everything I showed you in the first 2 videos, so I will refresh your mind. So I will take care of that. And I will also use this as a very nice reminder that we are now closing in on 2000 subs, so really make sure, I really appreciate every single subscriber, everything like you drop on the videos, but really make sure to hit those 2000 subscribers soon, and I will give you a very nice 2000 subscriber special. It will cover a lot of requests, it will be very nice, it will be very different as well, so I didn't make a video like this ever on this channel, and I think it will be very useful to most of you out there who are into casinos and Minecraft probability games and so on. So let's get that 2k subs on RTsWorld. Do that. But let's now get into the video directly. I promised to give you a short overview of Casino Basics number 1 and number 2 before I will dive into number 3. So in number 1 we covered every contraption, every circuit you need to set up basic casino machines to play with the odds. Like for example, here we have this dropper, hopper and gates. Here we have these dropper, cauldron setups and so on. And basically they just here to randomize things in the game. So no player can predict what happens, and that's what you take advantage of as a casino owner. And yeah, there are different ways to randomize, but the most common ways are dropper-dropper systems, where we spit out items from one dropper into another one, or the dropper-hopper combinations, where we have a dropper and of course the counterpart as a hopper. So those are more reliable on servers, and also there are sometimes some cooldowns on servers with hoppers included, but I won't go into the details that well. But instead I will give you a short overview of those 2 very special contraptions in this world. The first one is a randomizer with 4 outputs, which is time-based, so it's very different. It's also, yeah, it's rather huge. It's a very special niche application, as well as this Wheel of Fortune randomizing system, where for example if I press here this button, we can see here very well these lamps fluctuating from right to left, or now the other way around, and at some point they will just stop at one single light, and that's what the randomizing process is all about. And you would do that also time-based. So we have here the non-time-based systems, and here we have the time-based systems. And in the second video of Casino Basics I will also cover some calculations. For example, if you now build, just for an example, this river casino here, and I will also link that in the video description. If you play this river casino, you put in here a diamond block and you get a different amount of items. For example, now I got 5 diamonds back, and also a free ink sac from the glow squid farm, which is apparently a thing in the new versions that they spawn everywhere. But what I want to say is you have to calculate somehow how much you have to charge and how much prizes you can get away, or give away, sorry. And that's what you can do with those basic calculations, which arise from some math. It's just simple math. It's maybe now I just scare off some of you, but it's just simple math where you just multiply the odds in your, for example, what is those in those droppers, and you get a number as a result, and these results are then used to calculate the odds further in your system. And yeah, here are of course the basic things that, for example, if you have the dropper-dropper systems, you have 2 signal strength for the non-stackable ones and 1 for the stackable ones, whereas for the hoppers we have 3 to 1. So that's also very important to remember if building these machines here in the back. But now let's directly dive into the third version of this Casino Basics tutorial series, and I will see you in a second in a different world. So, and welcome to my third Casino Basics world. Where we have here 4 different contraptions, and they are useful beyond just for casinos and gambling machines. They're also useful in different applications of the game as well. And I will start here with contraption 1. All of you should know by now that we have these 50% dropper-hopper combinations that are represented by a non-stackable and a stackable item. And if we press them, we either get the right or, come on, let's do it. Let's get the 50-50 or the left output. So here we have a 50% dropper, hopper, or gate. And that's what's it called. And in some cases, you just want to have 3 outputs or an odd number of outputs. If you have, for example, a casino machine where you have 5 different outputs, you could run one of those, like this 2-output machine. Then you have here another 2-output machine and there another 2-output machine. But that will always lead to an even number, as we have here 2 as a basically multiplying factor. But if we have now odd numbers accessible as well, we can do basically all outputs. So after those 2 outputs, we can split this one up in 2 and this one up in 3, so we have a total of 5 outputs. So if we could have a 3-output randomizer instead of a 2-output randomizer, we can clear up, or we can use basically a much broader range of machines, and it opens up a lot of applications in the randomizing or casino gambling world. So that's why I introduce you the 3-output randomizer, and it is also very nice to build and very easy to build. If I press it, we get one of those 3 lamps that light up. And of course, this clock here can do the work of mine if I connect it. So as we can see here, we have the 2-output randomizer, and here also a very silent one, a 3-output randomizer. One of those 3 lamps will light up, and that's just too noisy. So let's do that. And the magic behind this is this dropper here. That's a 33% chance for all of those 3 lamps. And as we can see here, we have here a non-stackable one, then 16 stackable items, and 1 16 stackable item, an ender pearl, for example. And by having that arranged like this, combined with the redstone circuit behind, we have a 33% chance of hitting each of those 3 lamps. And it's only 1 lamp at each time. So let's remove this torch again. And also the redstone here. The second contraption I want to present you today is a signal strength adder and subtractor. And this contraption is used, for example, in my most recent video, the tug of war. So that's what was released 1 week ago. And what it does is it just, for example, the machine I built last week determines which side wins by either filling or emptying this signal strength to 15 or 0. So the 2 extreme values we have here. And we do that by, for example, adding here on top a signal strength 1, 2, 3, for example, and in the bottom we subtract the signal strength, so 2, 1, and so on. And if we keep adding the signal strength, for example, as we can see here, we can just add it all the way to 15, but I will now interrupt it. So we're now at a certain signal strength, and there's also this reset circuit here. If I press it, it will clear out the memory of this signal strength memory cell and erase everything, so it will start again at 0. And yeah, that's the second contraption. The third one is a very quick one, and here we have timers. So we have here, for example, a 64 item or around 50-second timer, which is clock based. So this one shifts back and forth. As we can see here, we have here 32 items in now, just for demonstrative purposes. Since 64 is 50 seconds, it would take way too long. That's now 25. That's also enough. And every 25 seconds, we get a pulse. And this is a clock based, so we get a pulse every 25 seconds, as long as this lever is up. If we basically flip the lever again, we don't get any outputs anymore. And we have a different version, which is a pulse-based one right here. So we have here again the same 32 orange wool items in, but a different amount of, a different circuit here. And what we can show here is that we have here 2 different outputs. The first one is comparator-based in this hopper, and the second one is torch-based. And the torch-based one will last exactly half the time compared to the comparator-based one. So here we have the full 25 seconds, and here we have the 12.5 seconds. So it's exactly cut in half those times, since this torch lights or basically switches off again as soon as there are no items in the first hopper, but the second one has to transfer it back again, and that's why this comparator is exactly on the double amount of time. That can be very useful in some contraptions. And the last contraption I want to show you today is the fourth one, which is a signal strength to same number of price items machine or circuit. So in some cases you want to say, for example, hey, I have here a certain signal strength. For example, let's pick signal strength 9. Just pick that. And now we also free up an inventory slot. And signal strength 9 is of course here. Here we would have 11, 13, 15 and so on. Here the weaker ones. And then we just bring the signal along those comparators to this gap. And this gap can be closed. And here we have a contraption that spits out exactly the number of items we picked signal strength. So we have here a dropper, and I make sure to fill it up again. And also to remove any orange wool in my inventory. And if we power this, or if we close the gap for exactly 2 ticks, we now transfer the signal over, and we should end up with exactly 9 items here. And we can do that for any amount of items. So if I would have just, for example, only 2 items, signal strength 2, press the button. So now we saw 2 wool blocks. And that's also especially useful if we work, for example, with contraption 2, this signal strength based casino, so we can determine the output of items also with the signal strength, so it corresponds with the signal strength on this line, for example. And yeah, with that said, I now covered all the 4 contraptions, and now let's build them together in a block by block tutorial, so you can build them by yourself in your Minecraft world as well. So the first contraption we want to build together are those 50% and 33% dropper hopper combinations. So for the 50% one, we just grab a dropper and we remove those items to get it to the 50-50 dropper. A hopper on top, a composter, and here we're gonna have a comparator. Then we're gonna have 2 pieces of redstone, 2 repeaters, whereas the one close to the comparator is set to 2 ticks. Then we will have here a piston, a block, redstone, another block, and here we're gonna have 2 outputs, and those outputs will be represented with a torch. And we can also grab ourselves a button and power this machine, so we have either right one or left one. Next we're gonna start with a 33% dropper hopper combination by placing down a dropper field like that. Copper composter, then we're gonna have a comparator. We're gonna have here redstone dust, we're gonna have a comparator, then 1, 2, 3 redstone dust, 3 repeaters, then another row of blocks, another redstone dust, comparator redstone dust, then we're gonna have here another row of repeaters, and here another row of blocks and redstone torches all the way like that. Then we're gonna separate those redstone lines. We're gonna place in right here a block with a button. We're gonna have here a torch and here a redstone repeater. So next up we want to build the signal strength subtractor and adder, and we want to start by setting here our main comparator that basically puts out everything to the output line. Then we're gonna have here a redstone dust, we're gonna have here another comparator set to subtraction mode, we're gonna have here a comparator set to subtraction mode, here 1 redstone dust, we're gonna have here 1 redstone dust, and we cut them off like that. Then we're gonna continue right here with the redstone torch, a redstone comparator set to subtraction mode, 2 pieces of redstone like that. Then we're gonna have right here a redstone dust, we're gonna have right here a redstone comparator, and we're gonna have here a redstone torch, and we're gonna have here a chest with so 1 single item in like this. And now we can build the inputs, and the inputs will be right here, as we have here another comparator set to subtraction mode, and we're gonna have here a block with some redstone on top, and we prevent it from connecting like this. So, and here's 1 input, and here is 1 input. And we can do that, for example, and I'll switch here, for example, to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter, you can make it 15 long if you want, but for the sake of this tutorial, I won't make it 15 long. I will just add here some lamps to show you how it works. And we're gonna have right here a repeater set to 2 ticks. We're gonna have here a piston, another repeater, and here a button. We have the same here on top, 2 ticks, piston, repeater, and a button. So the first time we press it, it will light everything usually, but okay, not this time. So we have here 1 lamp, 2 lamps, 3 lamps, 2 lamps, 1 lamp, and so on. And if we, for example, set here all the way up to 15. We would need here a circuit that looks like this to reset everything properly. So I would have here 2 pieces of redstone dust, like so. We would have here 1, 2, 3, 4 comparators facing in different directions. Another 2 of them. And we're gonna have here an input with a repeater set to 4 ticks. And that's our button. So that would reset a whole line of 15 lamps in 1 button press. Now it's time to build the timers. And for the timers, we want to start with 2 hoppers facing into each other, like so. Then we're gonna have comparators to the left and to the right. For the clock-based one, we're gonna have here some redstone dust, like so. Then we're gonna have here 2 sticky pistons, and we are gonna have a redstone block like this. And we can put, for example, I just put a very low number, we put 8 items in there. Here we have the lever, and it will shuffle through, like so. And if we, for example, use here an output with a piston, and here we're gonna have a lamp. We would have a pulse that goes through every time the items will leave one of those. As we can see here. Now we have to put it to 1 tick. Yeah, now it works. So we would have here this clock now, but I will stop it by just flicking the lever. And then we're gonna have also the pulse-based one. So we have 2 hoppers facing into each other. We're gonna have some composters on top. Then we're gonna have here a redstone comparator, like so. Then we're gonna have here the button in front, like that. Then we're gonna add here a torch, redstone dust, another torch. We would have 1 output right here, and we would have 1 output with a comparator right there. And if I put in here, for example, also 8 items, like that, and press the button, we would have different amount of time this lamp's on, so this one half the time than this lamp. And last but not least, we have the signal to items converter. So we're gonna have here a very long row of signals. It doesn't matter, just for the sake of the tutorial I will put it like what is it, 7 blocks long. Then we're gonna have the comparator. Of course you could build it 15 blocks long. And afterwards we would have here a gap that is powered with a piston. And this piston will need to stay on for exactly 2 ticks. So let's do that as well. Here another piston with a button. So this piston will now fire for exactly 2 ticks. And here we're gonna need 2 pieces of redstone, like this. Here comparator, there a comparator. And here we're gonna need an observer facing this redstone dust here. And here on the or here we can just put, like, for example, this dropper, which is pre-filled. And if I would set, for example, signal strength, that would be 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So signal strength 10 it is. Remove all the orange wool. And of course, we need to replace that block. Very sorry for that. So bring it 1 block closer. Now that should be 10. Very sorry for this mistake. And let's fire it once. So now we should get 10 blocks of wool, which is correct. Nice. And with the last circuit now explained and built, thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions for future videos and also maybe some suggestions for future casino basic videos, make sure to write a comment. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and a sub to reach those 2000 subscribers mentioned earlier. And with that said, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.